Hey Frank, I know last night you said you wanted to keep your team's plans to honor Kobe internal, so I'm not necessarily asking that, but being today would have been his 42nd birthday. I just wanted to know um, when you hear Kobe, what comes to mind, and maybe how your relationship with him has grown since you've joined the Lakers organization, even though we all lost him in January.
Yeah, it was this day and tomorrow where we're going to wear the uniforms. It brings back a lot of the emotions, of what happened, and we're all still very sad about his loss and Gigi's loss. It's just a tough thing for all of us to handle and to go through, and I'm grateful for the support he showed in me being here.
Hey Frank, being in the NBA bubble in the middle of the playoffs on Kobe's birthday, is there a real sense of we want to do this for Kobe?
That's been with us all year. I don't think it's going to be that different tomorrow. We're competing at a high level to win. It's been important to us all season to embody what he stood for and represented, and to exhibit that Mamba mentality. So maybe it'll be exemplified some tomorrow, but it's really been with us every step of the way.
Allie?
Kyle or Tanya?
I have two questions, but the first one is you just mentioned that you just mentioned the support that Kobe showed for you being here. How did that come to you? Like, what can you?
I'd rather keep that to myself, if that's okay.
Okay. My other question was just about what you guys did today. 100 free throws for everyone, is that right?
Yes.
And they had to make 100 before they could leave?
Yes.
Okay. How did it go?
Everybody made 100 free throws. Hopefully we'll shoot better at the free throw line tomorrow night.
How much of a setback has Rondo had from this passing yesterday?
We'll see. He's still very, very sore today from it, and we downgraded him to doubtful for the game tomorrow. So, you never know with the back. You just got to see how it is day to day.
And sort of follow up on that. I mean, you mentioned Alex and the role he played yesterday as the backup ball handler. When you look at the tape, he told us that, maybe he made some shots, but is there some kind of growth that you see on review of his development in that role?
Yeah, I think there was growth last night. But he's been solid for us in the pick and roll game throughout most of the year when he stays within himself. And, he had some good plays, not just setting up AD, but, when they overcommit to AD, attacking the basket. And you saw that in game one with the pick and roll with LeBron. When they stayed home on LeBron, he turned the corner and threw down on their defense. So, that's part of reading the coverage. And, he's done a solid job of that. And like Alex said, last night, AD was making a lot of shots, when he was delivering the ball. So he was effective there for us.
Teach anyone on your end?
Yes. Anthony Slater.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned yesterday that you were anticipating a starting lineup change. Were you surprised that they went big instead of maybe going Trent small? And how did them going to that two big lineup kind of alter the matchup?
Yeah, you're never really surprised in a playoff series. You know that they can go a couple of different ways, and you're prepared for all of it. So, I didn't really have a heavy lean of which way they would go. But I just, Terry had hinted that there could be a lineup change, so we were anticipating a few different guys that could have been in there. Their big lineup has been successful for them in the first two games. So, they chose to go that way. And what was the second part of your question? I'm sorry. Okay, we can move on to the next question.
Sorry, they just unmuted me. No, it's just like kind of how did you see it affecting the matchup that they did go too big right away against your starters?
Yeah, it certainly changes the matchup. I don't want to get into how what that means for us in terms of how we change our attack or our coverages, but they're certainly longer at the basket and more imposing on the glass. So those are the things that benefit them when they go with the big lineup.
Thanks.
Frank, when you mentioned last night that just the atmosphere is different in terms of a lot of the normal playoff rhythms and things that you guys know well as coaches and players just aren't there, home crowds and all that. How does that influence the messaging or the way that you talk to your players or rally them or whatever it might be when those cues aren't what they normally are?
The only real difference is when you're going on the road to play in that type of environment, you're not going to get the whistle. You're going to have to deal with a raucous crowd, and managing the runs that the other team goes on because obviously the building explodes with crowd noise. That's just absent now. You're not talking about those types of things. But I guess just the overall general focus on the task at hand and what we need to do to get a W, that doesn't change at all.
Hey, Coach, just want to get your thoughts. Portland, through the first 3 games, on average, have been held under 100 points. Is there something specifically defensively that you guys are doing, or is this just kind of the makeup of who this team was, prior to entering the bubble?
We're competing at a high level on that end of the floor, but these 2 guards and this whole team is dynamic and electric offensively, and we are pleased with how we performed on that end of the floor, but not in any way comfortable. That we're going to continue to replicate it. We just got to compete and ask our guys to do the best they can, and so far it's been enough. But we got to continue to bring that type of intensity and focus.
I have one more on this end, Allie, and then you can take it if you like.
Nope, that'll be our last question. Thank you.
Coach, Kobe, besides being a great basketball player, he was also out front on equality in sports in regards to girls in sports and women in sports, and working with the homeless. Can you talk about Kobe's work outside of the basketball arena in regards to some of the social causes?
Yeah, come on. He was just a great man, you know what I mean? And he used his platform for those reasons, like you said, for those causes, I should say, with equality in particular with girls and women's sports. Being a girl dad, obviously steered him further in that direction. But with the homeless and in many, many ways that he was active in the LA community. And, his loss is felt worldwide.